Have you ever stood before a mountain that didn't look quite natural? A mountain that looked like it had once been a tree? Across the world, strange flat top mountains rise from the earth. Some say these aren't mountains at all, but the stumps of giant ancient trees that towered into the sky, cut down long ago by forces now forgotten. But that's just the beginning. From grounding to electroculture, the earth beneath your feet holds an ancient power, one that modern science is only beginning to rediscover. In this episode, we'll explore how our ancestors tapped into this living energy grid of nature and how you can do the same. Now, let's go into nature and get into it. Throughout the ancient world, trees were not just plants, they were revered as living conduits of cosmic and earthly energy. Many ancient peoples believed that certain trees acted as a kind of antenna connecting the heavens, the earth, and the underworld. In Norse mythology, the great world tree, Yggdrasil, connected all realms of existence. In Mesoamerica, the ceiba tree served the same role. And in Buddhist traditions, the Bodhi tree is a living symbol of enlightenment. Sacred groves existed across Europe, Africa, and Asia, places where entire forests were considered so spiritually powerful that they remained untouched for centuries. It was common practice to touch, hug, and meditate under these trees to get their energy. Nature. But this connection to nature extended far beyond the forest. Many ancient teachings also held that the sun itself recharged the human energy field, the aura. Exposure to full spectrum sunlight, especially during sunrise and sunset, was believed to cleanse stagnant energy and infuse the body with life force energy known as prana or chi. Grounding with the earth with bare feet and getting cosmic rays of energy from the sun to the crown, which is the head, and through the skin. In modern terms, sunlight boosts vitamin D and elevates mood. But could it also be helping us to reconnect with the natural energy grid of our planet? Just as we have forgotten the sacredness of trees, perhaps we've also forgotten the vital role the sun plays in keeping our bodies and our energy aligned with the rhythms of the earth and the cosmos. Scattered across the earth are geological formations so unusual, so striking, that they seem to defy conventional explanation. What if some of these mountains aren't mountains at all, but the fossilized remains of ancient colossal trees from a forgotten age? Take Devil's Tower in Wyoming. Its towering vertical columns and perfectly flat top don't match the typical shape of a volcanic formation. Instead, it resembles the stump of a once massive tree, complete with hexagonal patterns that mimic the cellular structure of wood. Is this just a coincidence or a remnant of something far more ancient? Then there's Mount Roraima, a tabletop mountain located at the junction of three countries, Brazil, Guyana, and Venezuela, with its flat summit and sheer cliffs rising like a monument from another world. Or Alien Mountain that I introduced in the Ramakien and Mysteries of Sri Lanka episode, Table Mountain in South Africa, Jakarta Tableland in Tunisia, Mount Connor, also known as Uluru in Australia, Devil's Postpile in California, Cerro Otuna and Kukunan Tepuy in Venezuela, and even Mount Olympus. Yes, on Mars. These structures don't always fit neatly into geological textbooks. Ancient myths and sacred texts across cultures speak of world trees, vast, divine, connecting heaven and earth. They also speak of giants, the Nephilim, beings of immense size and power who once roamed the earth. Could these giants have cut down the world trees, reshaping the landscape in an ancient conflict lost to history? Some speculate that these stumps are the last traces of a global catastrophe, perhaps even an ancient war where massive trees were felled by giant hands, leaving behind the petrified remains we now call natural wonders. Not every mountain fits this theory, but many bear features too strange and too perfectly shaped to ignore. One thing is certain: mountains undeniably resemble stumps of ancient trees. But while those titans of the past may be long gone, not all the giants have vanished. What if I told you that the warmth rising up around me isn't just geological, but mythological? According to Hollow Earth theory, places like this, hot springs, geothermal vents, aren't just cracks in the crust. They're gateways, breathing holes, pressure points between our surface world and a vast world hidden inside the earth. Legends of Agartha, Shambhala, and the inner earth aren't just mystical fairy tales. They appear across the Hindu epics, Tibetan scrolls, and even 18th and 19th century accounts. Some say the earth is not solid all the way through, but honeycombed with caverns, vast underground cities, and civilizations that predate our own. For a more in depth look at the inner or hollow earth, check out my episode, Hollow Earth Entrances. What if these inner earth realms harness geothermal energy, and the springs we bathe in are a byproduct of an ancient advanced system running beneath our feet? It's hard to wonder if there's something more going on. A point on the map where the surface world and something hidden beneath quietly meet. And maybe the warmth we feel is more than geothermal. Maybe it's a sign we're closer to that ancient world than we realize. Deep within a hidden grove in California stands the world's tallest living tree, a coast redwood named Hyperion, towering over 115 meters, nearly 380 feet. It's older than many civilizations, yet its exact GPS coordinates are kept secret by park officials. Why? Because in today's selfie obsessed world, too many would trample its fragile ecosystem just to say they'd seen it. Much like the tragic fate of the sycamore gap tree by Hadrian's Wall in the UK, where a single act of vandalism felled a century old landmark in moments. And it's not just in California. In 2020, Australia's devastating bushfires, a covert firefighting operation was launched to protect an ancient secret. A remote grove of Womelli pines, living fossils thought to have gone extinct 2 million years ago. Only 100 trees survive, hidden in a canyon near Sydney, their exact location guarded to protect them from human interference. Nature! Perfect. All right. Sorry. Okay, just let it go. Okay. Nature remembers, but it can also be lost in an instant. And maybe that's why some giants are better left hidden, not to be forgotten, but to be protected. Quiet reminders of an ancient world that still breathes just out of reach. You've been disconnected, not from Wi Fi, but from the earth itself. We spend our lives walking on pavement, sealed off in rubber soled shoes, breathing air pumped through machines. We wonder why we feel inflamed, anxious, and fatigued. But the answer isn't in another prescription, another product, or another scroll. It's right beneath your feet. Out here, the earth still hums. Ancient forests may have vanished, but the planet's earth energy is alive and waiting. This is called grounding or earthing. It's the simple act of walking barefoot on natural surfaces, grass, sand, stone, or soil. It's how your body electrically reconnects with the planet. Modern science is catching up with what ancient people always knew. The earth carries a subtle negative charge, and your body, it needs it. Anyone that knows me knows that I always go barefoot at every opportunity. When your bare feet touch the ground, free electrons flow into your system. They reduce inflammation, balance your stress hormones, and improves your sleep. I can fall asleep anywhere, on a rock, in a dentist chair, even in the most uncomfortable position imaginable. But ironically, the one place I'm wide awake is in an airplane, a metal tube flying through an ocean of electromagnetic chaos. No grounding, no electrons, no sleep, just me and the static. A 2012 study in the Journal of Environmental and Public Health found grounding can relieve chronic pain, improve immune function, and even stabilize heart rate variability. And it's not just science. Ancient monks, shamans, yogis, they knew. They meditated barefoot, not just to feel the grass, but to be plugged into the earth's magnetic field. Even their leather soles kept the current flowing, unlike today's rubber and plastic that cuts us off completely. Modern life floods us with positive ions from air conditioning, electronics, machinery. They overstimulate and exhaust us. But the earth, it's the antidote. It rebalances you, recharges you, not symbolically, electrically. So go ahead, touch a tree, hug a tree, walk barefoot on the soil, grass, and sand. And remember, the earth isn't just where we live, it's what keeps us happy, healthy, and alive. Another ancient practice involves a highly personal connection to nature, placing seeds in your mouth before planting them. This allows the seed to absorb your personal microbiome. Your saliva carries enzymes, bacteria, and genetic markers unique to you. When you then plant that seed, it grows in tune with your body's needs, producing fruits or vegetables that are more beneficial to you specifically. Russian researchers and traditional farmers across cultures have practiced this with remarkable results. Plants grown this way have shown greater vitality and nutritional value tuned to the individual planter. Here I have a copper wire that is obviously insulated. So I'm gonna cut a little bit of the plastic off so we have a starting edge. All right, so there it's almost cut all the way around. I'll make a little bit more here. So then it's almost all cut here. And then I just have to take this part off like this. All right, now we can see the copper wire. And you can see here that I have these blades from the knife. I screwed it down inside and I put the clamp. So now I'm just going to feed it through these tables. The first little bit is tricky because you don't have a lot to work with, but once you get going, you just feed the wire like this. All right, you see that got a big long streak here. And then once you got it like this, it's really easy to just pull it off one finger. So I'm gonna do that for the whole length and show you how to make Electroculture wire energy collector. So there's basically no wrong way to do this. I've got my copper wire. I've got my bamboo stick that I just pulled from the jungle. I'm just gonna cut the top off, cut the bottom off, make a little indentations for the wire to like start in there. So yeah, let's just do that. Ooh, perfect. All right. And this one, I'm just gonna saw it. Good enough. Ta-da. And now I'm just gonna make a little hole this way. Just a small notch so that, oops, sorry for the microphone. And now I have my copper wire that I'm just going to wedge in between like this. Like this. I'm just gonna bend it over more with the pliers. Your monkey noises behind me. There you go. All right, and then you just have to wrap it around the bamboo pole with about an inch to go in between. And it doesn't have to be super even or equal. There are many different ways of doing it, and I'll show you the different ways that you can do it on the screen. This is actually my first time doing this. I watched a lot of videos about it though, so I could show you what the people do. I'm sure the editor can fast forward this part. Monkeys behind me and I can't look. I know. You're not that close. Almost done. The stick is longer than needed, so I'm gonna cut that again. I think it's starting to rain. All right. Oh, that's the knife. I think it's just the wind. Here's the knife. I mean, the saw. So you want it to extend about that much from the top of the stick Then I'm going to plant the stick and tell you more about electroculture. Grounding works for more than just humans. Electroculture is an ancient, now rediscovered practice where coiled copper wires are placed into the ground around plants to enhance their growth. Why copper? Because it's a highly conductive material. I'm going to build a slightly better hole for this using a kitchen spoon. Kind of twist it into the ground. All right. Able to draw both telluric currents and atmospheric electricity. Gardeners practicing electroculture report larger, more robust plants, increased yields, and greater resistance to pests and disease. Ancient peoples used stone circles and standing stones in a similar way as giant grounding devices to balance and harness the Earth's energy grid. Modern research has shown many standing circles aligned with ley lines and vortices acted as conductive and amplifiers of natural energy. If you don't know about ley lines, check out my previous episode. What if the ancient world was not only more advanced than we give it credit for, but more in tune with the earth itself? From giant trees to grounding and electroculture, nature is alive with energy and wisdom we are only beginning to rediscover. Perhaps the next great technology will not come from silicon chips, but from reconnecting with the ancient power grid beneath our feet. And as always, I'm not saying this and every story I share is 100% true. I'm just telling a story, and you can believe what you want. Uncovering the truth, one conspiracy at a time. See you next week on the White Rabbit YouTube channel.